All right, let's see if this is working as I use my brand new product here. And I already see we have likes and hearts. That's from yesterday. So, hey, I'm Leigh Brown from Remax, and also known as Leigh Brown Instruction or No Fluff Training. And I am very excited that you've chosen to join me today for the 2018 business planning session, also known as 𝘾𝙃 2018. So I want to, first of all, welcome you to this and remind you that if you signed up in advance, you should have some homework that we're going to go over. And if you did not sign up in advance because, frankly, you just got too busy or distracted, or you just signed up like 2 seconds ago, which is happening right now because Liz is lovingly noticing all of y'all that forgot to sign up for your homework, go to planwithleigh.com and I'll send everything out after the event. So if you didn't get it in advance, we'll still send it to you. But you won't have it until we're done here, so you'll just have to suck it up, buttercups. And as you post anything that's beneficial to you, that you like, that you want somebody to hold you accountable for, use our hashtag 𝘾𝙃 2018. That's 𝘾𝙃 2018 as we go through the morning. And so as I see all my friends joining me. Oh, Joshua, one of our youngest realtors, whose mom, Holly, got him started in real estate. And I think all of our kids, frankly, should get a license as soon as they turn 18, if that's the age in your state. There comes Charleston. Kimberly, did you get some snow yesterday? Because that's weird. We didn't get any snow in Charlotte. We were too far west for once. So anyway, we got a lot to talk about today, y'all. And if you haven't met me before, I'm an 18-year veteran of real estate. I've owned a couple of different companies in my time, and I don't cotton to any of this crap that says there's any glass ceilings anywhere in or around my life, because any woman who says somebody's holding you back, frankly, it's right up in here, because nothing holds me back. Nothing holds you back. So we're going to talk about how we're going to make your life better today. And that includes your business life, your personal life, your faith life. We got lots to say today. So I want to remind y'all of something as we get going here. And that is every day is new. Okay. So you're going to look at your 2018 plan, and maybe you're going to be on track. Maybe you're off track already, because I know some of y'all were planning to streak in the new year, not by being naked, but by running every day or something. You've already busted that. That's fine. Every day you wake up is brand new. Every week is brand new, and every year is brand new. So I'm not going to judge you for your mistakes of the past, because I hope you won't judge me for mine. And I want you to remember this, because as you start to make some plans and some goals, you're going to screw up, you're going to fall down, you're going to get distracted, something's going to change in your life that's going to make things really, really hard for you. But when you wake up in the morning, that day's new. When you start that new week, that week is new, and this year is a new year. So anything that went wrong for you last year, put it aside. No negative talk, no fussing, none of that, okay? We're getting past all that. So I sent y'all some homework. And in the homework, I asked you to look at your business from 2017, no matter what business you're in. And I'd really love to know who's watching this business planning session who's not in real estate. I recognize a lot of my realtor friends, but I'm very curious to know which of my entrepreneur friends are looking for a little bit of spice in their planning life as well. So when you look at your 2017 and I ask you your totals, I'm asking you to look at where your business came from. I also asked you to look at your net income, and that's hard, y'all, because entrepreneurs are the worst at looking at net income, because we want to talk in big, bold, really ballsy numbers, and that's going to be your gross income. Then I'm going to remind y'all of something right here, okay, as we talk about this. Lying to yourself is 1,000% worse than lying on social media. And I know y'all lie on social media because I watch you on Facebook every day. And some of y'all that say you're selling tons and tons of houses, you aren't, because then you private message me and ask me for help getting the deal going. And I value the fact that you're humble enough to ask for help. But that means you cannot be lying out there to the world. And don't lie to yourself, because that doesn't help you solve any problems. And if we are going to solve problems, we're going to have to be truthful. So I want you to figure out where your business came from and look at your net income. And when we look at your net income, you got to look at what you're going to be facing as far as taxes. Did you pay all your quarterly taxes? Or are you filing extensions to catch up with the IRS? What did you spend on various and sundry products that benefited your business this year? Did you do anything from your brands? Oh, there comes the blizzard in Boston. Was it Cyclone Blizzard? I hope y'all are enjoying the snow as much as Joe is. But if you're just now logging in, I'm Leigh Brown, and I'm coming at you live from Concord, North Carolina. So I wanted y'all to look at your past year so that you could have a really good, honest, come to Jesus meeting with yourself. And if you are not a friend of Jesus, I can introduce you. But what come to Jesus means is there's nothing you can hide from the Lord. The Lord sees what's in here and in here. And no matter what you say out there, you can't hide it. And so when we look at that, we've got some opportunities to have. So there was an article I sent you about prioritization from the Harvard Business Review. That is, y'all, my favorite publication. It's way better than anything else I could read for my business. And I do totally read things like Inman, and I read the information that comes from the National Association, and I read Riz Media and all these other things. But when you're looking at your business on the holistic view, you cannot just look at it from inside the profession you're in. So if you're a realtor, you've got to start thinking outside of real estate. And if you're working in healthcare, you can't be looking at things just from a healthcare perspective, because we need to get different viewpoints because it helps us grow. So in one of my business articles this past year was talking about prioritization. And it's a really scary thing for us to think about because we're terrible at it. How many of y'all got this Facebook Live on your calendar a couple of weeks ago and then abided by it? If you did, you've already shown that you know how to prioritize what you think is going to be beneficial to you. However, there's going to be a ton of our friends that signed up and didn't show up because they said they were too busy. Now, what are they busy with? They busy doing the laundry or taking a nap or wearing their yoga pants, or are they with a client that's not qualified to do anything with them? Why do people not take really good advantage of opportunities that they have? Well, let's talk about the ways to build your priorities. The first thing you want to look at is any event that came up, any opportunity that you had. Is it going to do anything for ability? No, Mike, everything is not a priority, you smarty pants, because is it going to lean into what's the thing that you do? I'll look at real estate as a great example because primarily most of my realtors are watching this. I love y'all, but you're not all good at listing a house. Okay? Some of y'all suck at it. In fact, because you never have taken the time to dig in and learn more about it, you have been playing by the seat of your pants. Some of y'all are amazing at it, but you are spending your time on things like running flyers around, or maybe you are looking at more buyer leads from websites like Zillow, and you aren't leaning into what your ability really is. Real estate is so interesting because you can be a specialist in a lot of different areas. Maybe you like land, or you like to do commercial property, or you like investors. In fact, there's so much opportunity right now to work with investors, and you need to lean into that ability and figure out the opportunity you had today to come to this business planning session. Is it playing to what your abilities are? Well, hopefully it's going to help you identify those things. So, for example, when there is an opportunity for you to learn about commercial real estate, if you know nothing about it, you've got to decide if you're going to have the ability to be good at that. Now, let's talk about the reward for what the opportunities are that come up. Is there a monetary reward? Because y'all love to make some money because you talk about it all the time, but I'm going to tell you there's more rewards in life than just monetary. There's also the reward of helping somebody else grow, helping somebody else learn. Maybe there's that reward that comes from your personal growth. Now, I'm a middle-aged woman, and so I love the opportunity to grow because I'm not getting any younger. I've realized I'm at the half point in my life, and I didn't do as much in the front half as I probably had ought to have, so now I got to get after it. So then let's talk about the enhancement. So the opportunity that presents itself. Is it going to enhance what's here, or what's here in the world? So when we're talking about enhancement, what are you going to bring to it? If you signed up to go help at a Habitat for Humanity build, but you have no skills at building, is that going to enhance the opportunity that other volunteers have, or that homeowner's house? It might not. You're going to have to ask yourself some real hard questions. Are you out there because you're passionate about people who want to get a hand up and change their lives? Or are you there because you want to pass out some business cards and get the people to call you to use your services later? That's not enhancing anything for anybody. So this is where you got to think about how your passion lays into what makes somebody else's life better and what makes your life better. One of the examples that was mentioned in the article talked about taking an opportunity that's way outside your comfort zone so that it forces you to learn. I look at real estate in that way. I've done residential my whole 18 years. I bought my first commercial property last year as part of my husband's and my plan to build our wealth using real estate over time as one of our tools. We buy one property a year. And if that sounds scary to you, it's probably scary because you haven't asked enough questions. And so I went to buy this commercial property because I needed to stretch. I learned a ton, and I realized that's why I don't sell commercial real estate, because I don't know it for squat. And so I had to get forced out of my comfort zone to learn about it, and it enhanced my opportunity to build my own family's wealth. It enhanced my opportunity as a business owner and as a community advocate, because frankly, how can I be a community advocate if I don't put my money where my mouth is? So you think about these things a little differently when you look at every single opportunity. Do I have the ability to buy that building? I did. Had the money to do it. Is there a reward in that? Well, yeah, there's a long-term financial reward to that. Enhancement. I really bought this building with this mindset that I can enhance the city of Concord where I live. Bought this historic building and spent a ton of money fixing it up. And y'all, I can't wait till you see what happens with the conference room in the next couple of weeks. It's so cool. And then let's talk about appreciation. How does that play into how you prioritize things? Will you be appreciated for what you do? Will your skills that you learned appreciate over time, like real estate appreciates over time? And will you be appreciated? There's so many different ways to look at that angle, but you've got to consider the long-term impact of what you're choosing to spend your time on. And then let's talk about the referral piece. So if you're going to spend your time in something, is it going to benefit you long-term? Is it going to bring you more opportunities? Are you going to bring other people opportunities as well? If you didn't read that article, go read it. It's 2 pages. I know you're realtors and you don't read. It's totally worth it, because I need you to think about this before we talk about how you structure your year, because this is all coming into, well, hang on, I'm backwards. This is all coming into play right here. I couldn't figure out how to turn my screen around. So you pulled up your 2017 year, and now I'm fussing at you about priorities. In fact, I had a wonderful phone call with a coaching client right before we did this, and I had the most fun that I get to do when I coach anybody and fuss at them, because he had built his business this past year in a new angle, spending a whole heck ton of money, when you don't always have to do that if you're thinking about how you're going to prioritize your spending and your time. So let's look at these reviews. We're going to spot gaps. So you're looking at where your business came from, and I want you to look at where the gaps are. So for some of you, your business came from people you've worked with in the past, and that doesn't matter what profession you're in. You have people that you have connections with, the long-term relationships. Does most of your business come from people you know? Now, I have a lot of viewers today that are brand new to real estate, and you don't have past clients yet. So obviously that's a gap that you have, and it will fill itself over time. But if you're an experienced realtor, you're often going to realize that's where your biggest opportunity lies, because you fail to talk to people. So let's take off the blinders, okay? I told y'all not lying to yourself. I told y'all that lying to yourself is 1,000% worse than lying online, okay? So you told people on the internet that your business is 97% past client and referral. Is that true? Do you really know? Are you tracking it and keeping a really good spreadsheet? Or are you just kind of feeling like that's where your business came from? Because if you feel like that's where your business comes from, I can pretty much guarantee you you're wrong. So let's talk about that. If indeed 97% of your business did come from past clients and referrals, and you took note of that, you marked it on your spreadsheet, how much business did you leave behind because you didn't talk to them very much? And I love realtors. Y'all are people. You love having relationships and getting really into somebody's personal space. And then the second the house closes, you have vanished. And you have this problem of, I don't know what to say to them. Well, let's talk about what you say to people. Lying is not a good thing to do. So you're on social media lying about the amount of business that you did. And I'm not saying this to be hateful, but let's just be realistic about it. Y'all tell so many lies online in your effort to be rainbows and sunshine and unicorn and lollipops. And life's not like that. So what if instead you were very realistic about what you did? And yes, and Cole, you can keep it on Google Sheets. It's pretty easy. And so let's think about how you're going to track. I do track in Google Sheets. It's pretty simple stuff. Where did it come from? If the person came to me from a website, that's not an answer, y'all, because if you didn't know this, there's a bunch of websites out there. The Googles is full of them. So when you ask somebody how they came to call you today, you say to them, what website were you on? They'll often tell you, and by the way, if they say DuckDuckGo, they're really good people. That's the search engine I like because it doesn't track you like Google does. It doesn't have all those cookies and government spies in it, and so DuckDuckGo is a good search engine. But if they say that, then I know they're probably conspiracy theorists like me with the bunker, and so we'll have a different conversation than if they came to me from MSNBC.com, which I probably don't get many people who call me from MSNBC, but that's fine too. I would help them. I'll help them learn how they're wrong. And so let's talk about how you're working backwards here. So you're going to evaluate where your business comes from. You're going to evaluate where your gaps are. Now that you find your gaps, you got to figure out how to shoot the gap. And I love that phrase. They say mind the gap over in Great Britain. And I say shoot the gap because I'm a Second Amendment person. So when you're talking about shooting the gap, you got to figure out how to fill it up. So if your business is partly coming from past clients and referrals, that's really good. Can you grow that, or do you need to find out where you're missing a slot? One of the things that I find to be interesting about business owners in general is that they are here on Facebook right now and they can't figure out how to make money from social media and how to make it build relationships. Y'all, I'm going to tell you a big old secret here. The internet is not going to build your relationships for you. If somebody puts a nice note on your wall and you clicked like, that does not count as prospecting. Now, I went over this last year and I don't think some of y'all understood me, and I'm going to use my good friend Melinda Randall from Texas as an example because I love Melinda and I frankly love watching her garden on Facebook because I'm a gardener too. I think all middle-aged and older ladies in the South have to grow tomatoes. It's a rule. And so I like to watch Melinda's garden because it's better looking than mine. Melinda got Realtor of the Year. And if you didn't know, if you're a normal person out there, that's a giant, giant honor. It's a big red pin you get to wear, and the people call you the ROTY, the Realtor of the Year. Huge, big deal. Well, I sent Melinda a note. So over here on my desk, because I am in here in my office, as y'all see. Last year I was at home because my office was being renovated. I have note cards. Of course, it's got pink in it. Pink's my signature color. I've also got little fun cards. I got my new line of greeting cards that I've rolled out. I got cards all over the place on top of my desk, so I'll send them out. So when Melinda got Realtor of the Year, I jotted her off a quick note because I'm just so proud of her. I just love her all to pieces. And she sends me this note at New Year's that said all these people congratulated her online. And she got how many handwritten notes? She got one. And she took it as a reminder to herself that when you take that time out of your life to reach out to people and scribble them a note with, even if you have dreadful handwriting, nobody's going to judge. Well, they might. They won't say it out loud. I judge you. And so you are going to send this note to them, and the impact is huge. Okay? So we're talking about reviewing your business, figuring out where you're going to prioritize your time. I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all need to prioritize your time on some human beings. Tim Herr, I know I got your handwritten note before Christmas. It wasn't even a Christmas card. It was just all sweetness because I love me some Tim Herr, who's going to fix the inclusion situation we have in the world. But when you think about how you want to prioritize your time, in 2018, I'm going to prioritize more of my time on human beings and less of my time on technology. Now, I'm going to give y'all some technology tools that I love a whole bunch, and they're helping my business because that's part of your planning is figuring out how do you incorporate new things? How do you do the things from the past better? Okay? But it's going to require you to be real honest with yourself. Are you texting your best friend or are you calling her? Do you Facebook message your mama or do you call her? Do you go visit old people who are lonely in their houses? And if you don't, get off your dead ass and go do it. I'm so sick and tired of people having excuses for failing to maintain relationships. It is killing me. And y'all, we're in a world that is getting further and further divided, and it's going to continue to get further divided because we're not nice to each other. But you know what? If I don't like somebody and I write them a handwritten note, I'm going to start liking them. Okay? That's why Jesus said to pray for your enemies, because you can't hate somebody if you're praying over them. And I can't hate you if I'm taking the time out of my life to write you a note and put a stamp on it. Because if y'all didn't know it, the post office will carry your mail right directly to them for you. And most of the mail gets there. I had 2 Christmas cards that got chewed up with a big chunk out of them because I sent out a lot of Christmas cards. But if you didn't get yours, you should know that this year I got very discombobulated at Christmas. And I'm pretty sure some people got 5 cards, other people didn't. But it was not because of lack of love. So anyway, we're talking about priorities in your business planning. We're talking about rehumanizing your business so that you can shoot the gaps being human. So, all right, let's take this and look at where your business came from in 2017. If you had a lot of inquiries that came in from websites, inquiries that came in from Facebook, inquiries that came in from anything outside of your people who actually have your number saved in their phone. And by the way, a lot of them have you don't have them. They're not, wait a minute, I'm backwards. A lot of your clients don't have you saved in their phone, but you're saved, you've got them saved in yours. You know what I'm saying now? Because I'm totally got my words tangled up. I have that person in here, but they don't have me saved in theirs. So that means the relationship is not as good as it could be, or else you both be saved in each other's phones. So get to the point where people, let's see, you disagree with what? I don't know what you disagree with, but I love you anyway, because you can disagree with me. But you have to love people offline as much as you do online. And let's see, I did get your note after NAR. Thank you. I got to stop looking at these comments because it's going to distract me. So anyway, we're working backwards from what the world says, okay? The world says in business planning, pick numbers first, pick income first, and then figure out how to make income happen. I'm going to tell you, in my business, I don't do income first. I do humans first. I've got to figure out how to be a better manager of my team, a better partner to my team members. I've got to figure out how to better take care of what they need. And the money, y'all, figures itself out. You're going to find out that if you put as a focus humanizing your relationships, your money will figure itself out. If somebody posts on Facebook that they had somebody special to them that passed away, if you will send them a sympathy card, send them a pound cake, it changes the relationship and the income works itself out, okay? So let's go back to what I was saying about these inquiries that come in. So you have inquiries that come in through websites and through Facebook, and if you're a realtor, you had a sign in a yard and somebody called and said, how much is it? Because they knew, but they ask anyway because they feel obligated. Oh, look, I'm losing viewers because people get mad at when I get on my soapbox. That's hilarious to me. So when we're thinking about how the world says to look at money first, and I'm going to tell you to look at humans first. Take all those random inquiries that came in. So when you respond to a random inquiry, what are you sending to them? Are you telling them you're going to give them a complimentary market analysis? Really? Who charges for that? When you tell somebody you're going to give them a free market analysis of their house, who on the planet is charging to do the upfront market analysis? Nobody is. Why do y'all act like that's something special to offer? Y'all got to stop it. Because if they've reached out to 5 different realtors, all 5 of them said the exact same thing. And what if they inquired about buying a property? And your response was that you would like to send them a VIP home search list to alert them to properties as soon as they hit the market. Okay, fine. Who else can do that? All the websites that are out there. You're not doing anything special. But you know what? You are special. There's some reason that you're doing what you're doing. There's some reason you've carved this time out today. You've prioritized something, okay? So you are something special. Bible says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And I firmly believe that. So if you are so special, why aren't you putting that into the messaging you put out there? If you'll think about this in terms of humanizing all the contacts that you have with people, it changes how people respond to you. So if somebody says, I need to list my house, and you say back to them, ooh, I love your neighborhood. When may I interview with you? That is a different response. Because first of all, it puts you in that position of humility that says you understand the seller is interviewing you, and you are not the be-all, end-all. Now, I'd love to know that I'm one of the top realtors in Charlotte. My team works hard. We're number 17. Woo! Not going to put that on any of our marketing because who just cares about that? Nobody does. If I'm not in a position of humility when I go in the door, why would they hire me? They don't want to hire somebody who walks in all shaking it around. I'm number 1. I'm awesome. I mean, would you hire that person? I wouldn't. That would annoy the crap out of me. So don't be the annoying crap realtor. And then let's think about what you say to buyers. When you offer them a list of houses, what good is that, y'all? They can find the house without you. They have Google, they have Zillow and Realtor.com, and they have phones, they have cars, they got bicycles and feet. They can get to the house. You're providing a different value than that, okay? So now you have to figure out what the value is that you provide. On the seller side, you're going to put yourself into a position of humility and understand that you're being interviewed. So you go in the door and you're going to ask them what's important to them. Why are they selling? Because you know what? Everybody's got a story to tell. And as entrepreneurs, we have this really amazing opportunity to hear stories. One-on-one. Really important, intimate life stories. And it doesn't matter what kind of small business you're in, you get to hear stories. The big giant conglomerations, the big mega companies, they don't hear stories. They're only looking at income and numbers. But the world is driven by small to medium-sized business, and we have this amazing opportunity to use people's stories to help them. And when you hear their story and then you help them, then you're going to have income. And it doesn't come from spending thousands and thousands of dollars on shifty, shady companies, websites, and fake coaches that are out there. So we're working backwards, okay? We're thinking about the humanity of our business as we shoot the gaps to make it better. We're going to talk about your money now for a minute, because I know y'all love talking about money. I sent y'all an opportunity here to look at your budgets, your personal budget. Look, I'm going to get in your personal space here. And I had a broker, y'all, get back to me. She might be on this broadcast. I'm not going to call her name because I was a little surprised by her response to me sending this out. This broker said, this is too much information for my agents. They do not need to get hung up in these kinds of details. In fact, I hire an accountant because I want somebody else to do this for me. What I'm going to tell y'all is this. You don't have to like numbers and you don't have to like money, but you better the heck know what that money is out there doing. This is akin to giving birth to a child and turning it loose into the world and then wondering what happens in 25 years when it didn't come out the way you wanted it to come out. If you give birth to somebody, you had better pay attention to where they are, who they're hanging out with, how much clothes are on their body. But frankly, if they don't have all their parts covered up, it's going to change the outcome. So if I don't know where all my money is, it's going to change the outcome. You with me on that? This is very painful to look at. And I know that some of y'all don't have a pot to piss in right now. You're out of money. Okay, look, it's time to have a real honest conversation about that. I bet you made a bunch this year. A lot of y'all make six figures, but you don't keep six figures. It's the time to keep it. I've been watching a lot of my realtor friends post their goals, and a lot of them have commission goals, gross commission income goals. Only one of my realtor friends posted her net goal, and she is a brilliant businesswoman. Her net goal is higher than most agents' gross goal, and she's very focused on keeping the money that she makes. So I want y'all to look at this. Sit down with your spouse, your loved one, your partner, whoever helps you run money in the household, and look at this and figure out where the gaps are. Some of y'all are going to have to stop spending on Starbucks every day. You're letting $5 go out of your account every single day for burn tasting coffee. And you're going to Target to buy toilet paper and you're spending $300 on crap because you cannot keep your money under control. You're letting your money be a 15-year-old teenager full of hormones. You got to stop that. Now, after you look at all this and have that personal moment with your budget, you're going to look at your business budget. Now, some of y'all really threw up in your mouth when you opened this spreadsheet up because you don't know these numbers. But you can start right now, okay? Look, right now. Remember, new day, new week, new year. Woo! Everything's brand new. You're going to go up here to the top, budget how much you need to make. Some months you might have a zero because you're commission-based business. You know where your business comes in. Sometimes you're going to do really great. You're going to have your actual income and expenses, and then this nice yellow line is going to be your net because you've got to be watching that, y'all. And your operating income, you're going to set some categories down here in your expenses. Oh, by the way, in operating income, your income should include your primary source of business, and maybe that is if you're a realtor, your actual sales. And if you are a realtor, the secondary income could be referral income. So maybe your wonderful client is moving from Columbus, Ohio to Charlotte, North Carolina, and you said, hey, let's call Leigh Brown, and Leigh Brown helped them. You're going to get referral income from that. That falls over here in these categories. What other income categories do you have? Put them all in. Expenses. A lot of y'all don't have the foggiest idea what you pay for your real estate business because you have a credit card. You know the number by heart, including the expiration date and the little code on the back, which is a terrible habit to have. You need to cancel that account when you know it by heart, especially when you know the 3-digit code on the back. And I want you to think about your business money in this way. The next time anybody says to you, hey, if you sell just one house, it's going to pay for our whole program for the whole year. Run fast and run hard because that person has figured out how to sell to you. And you don't need to be sold to. You need to be wise and a good steward of your money. Now, let me get back to my main screen here, which I don't know how to do because I'm on a different program. Am I still picture-in-picture? Okay, so look, I know, Cole, that's why I saw you over there. So we're going to go back to the main camera now and move on to our next item with money. So I gave y'all some budget templates. Bob, it was in the homework. So if you inquired about the homework package, it was in there. If you did not, let me give y'all the homework page again. Go to planwithleigh.com and we will resend the homework at the end of the live broadcast. So go to planwithleigh.com and I'll send that to you. Now, let's go back and talk about your money for a minute because I had y'all do that little spreadsheet and some of y'all, I'm sure felt better about yourself than you realized you would, and some of you felt sick. So if you're feeling sick, here's what I need you to do. See this little quadrant here? This is what that Rhodey, okay, I love you, Rhodey, but your husband and your tax guy handle the money. You need to sit down with them monthly. That's a great point, and make sure you've got a handle on it, because when you are an entrepreneur and the money's coming in, you got to sit down monthly and at least look at the big picture, because you don't want anybody being completely in charge of any one aspect of your business. Actually, no, Josh, I do cancel cards and get a fresh one from the company just because it forces me to redo the number. I don't want too many cards because it can mess with my credit score. But anyway, so with your commission checks when they come in, when the commission check comes in, it's going to do this. 4 bank accounts, okay? 4. And this is how much goes in each one. So let's say you got a commission check for $10,000. Okay, that's a pretty decent commission check. After your company has already gotten their split, your share was $10,000 because it was a good house. Now, 10% goes into my tithe account. That's how I make sure the Lord gets his piece first. Now, if you're not a believer, make that your nonprofit giving, your community giving, your give back. You have got to be vested in the community where you live, y'all. If you are a small business owner who's not investing in other local businesses and you're not giving back, it's going to be really hard for you to tell the story about being really involved in the fabric of your community. So make sure that your give back is local, and it is really important to keep that at nature. So let me give you another example of something you could do with your 10%, and that's the Realtor Relief Fund. So when we have natural disasters like Irma and Harvey, and right now we have the winter storm even has a name I saw because Boston's getting all the snow and Atlantic City's under salt water and stuff. The Realtor Relief Fund responds to natural disasters. I'm not giving to the Red Cross because those fools won't allow themselves to be audited, which means they're sketchy. And so I give to the Realtor Relief Fund because 100% of the money that's given there goes back into communities. A realtor could apply for relief for housing. A regular community member can apply for housing related relief. That's who it helps. Y'all, it helps anybody who puts in a grant request related to natural disaster. And our realtor dues pay the overhead. So if you're watching this and you want to know where to give this coming year, I highly recommend the Realtor Relief Fund because that money flows right back out, and you'll know that the money you donated went back into communities. So those of y'all that are missing the homework, check your spam folder. Everything was sent out prior to today. And if you did not get it, then we will check these comments and do the best we can to replace it. But it's probably in your spam because there were like 5 attachments. Now, that 10% is your give back fund. 20% is your tax fund. I, for one, yay, tax reform. We as realtors had some really great wins in the tax reform bill. I'm going to be able to hire another person this year thanks to tax reform. So 20% goes into my tax account so that I'm prepared to pay taxes for my business on a quarterly basis, because as a 1099 person, I've got to pay quarterly taxes. I also have a corporation that pays my salary. And no, RPAC is not a nonprofit give back, Dennis. RPAC is an investment in my business. We'll get to that in a minute. So 10% is tithing. That is giving back. Give. That doesn't benefit you. That takes care of the world. 20%, take care of Uncle Sam. Always pay your state taxes first. They'll shut you down faster than Uncle Sam will. And then we have 30%. That's my personal account. That's that personal budget spreadsheet. This is your car and your house and your groceries and your pocketbooks and whatever it is that you like to spend your money on. My RPAC dollars come out of my 30% bucket because to me it's an investment in property rights, which benefits me as a human, also benefits my business. But I could say you could take your RPAC investment out of either bucket. If you have questions about that, we can talk about that offline. We're not going to get real deep into that because we have some non-realtors on the broadcast. And then my 40% is my business account. This is what pays for my staff. This is what pays for my marketing, my websites, my business cards and signs and stuff. So you can take either category. It's going to be business related. But I want you to think about it this way. If you want to invest in something really big and it's really huge, if you're going to come out of the 40%, it goes into this 30% where you're dipping it out of. Don't ever dip in the 20% bucket, y'all. That's the tax bucket. Don't dip in there, okay? Make sure you have money in your tax account and don't dip in here, because you do not shortcut the Lord. You do not shortcut your nonprofit investments in your community. Leave this alone. Business and personal, you can mix and match those two categories depending on if you're in growth phase of your business or maintenance phase. Pat, I save out of my 30%. Other people save out of different places. This is give back / tithe. 20% is tax, 30% is personal, 40% is business. That's how my 4 bank accounts are set up. So each commission check gets split into 4 buckets right away. If you want help getting that set up, highly recommend you check into the Realtors Federal Credit Union, because as realtors, we have a federal credit union, which is amazing for rates on credit cards and roofs and everything else. They can set up your accounts for you and do direct deposit of your commission checks. So highly recommend you check out the Realtors Federal Credit Union. It's a great benefit that you have as a realtor. Now, we talked about money goals. Oh, by the way, money people, make sure you cut some stuff if you need to cut it. Some of y'all have some image marketing out there that's just making you feel good, and you need to cut it. I have received more phone calls this year from people trying to sell me a name on a prescription drug bag at the drugstore. That's just stupid. That's not, I dare you to show me a good return on investment for my name being on a prescription bag at the drugstore. I also dare you to show me a name on the back of a grocery cart that's really going to bring me any money, y'all. It doesn't make sense. You've got to be really, really diligent with your money, because like I said, your money is a wild teenager that wants to run loose. So if you want to think about this in a bigger way, you built that spreadsheet earlier to see where your business came from. Look at where your money was spent last year. Look at where the money came from. If you spent $15,000 on Zillow leads and you made $10,000, cut Zillow. I know it's painful and scary, but if you're not making money, cut it. What if you spent 15 and made 20? I'd cut it. That's not enough profit for the amount that you're out of pocket. And y'all, if the economy turns, you want to make sure that you have cut your budget sooner rather than later. In fact, it's one of the best things I learned from stalking Kristen Cole, who's a very brilliant agent with Keller Williams. Kristen was one of the first ones to make big cuts during the big recession, and it helped her stay profitable. So always be learning from people who are super smart and better at the business than you are, because this is not rocket science, frankly, and I'm not brilliant all the time either. I just know what to do. So next thing I want to talk to you about in your planning, let's talk about your education. And what does education mean for your business? And what are your networking goals for the year? Oh, networking goals. There's something most realtors never set out. They just have this nebulous thing that says, I want to network more. Well, what does that mean to you? What does networking mean? I don't think y'all know what it means. You just think it means you go drink some cocktails and hang out with people in a bar. And that might be your kind of networking. But frankly, I don't drink around realtors because y'all cannot keep your mouth shut. And so I'd rather absorb all the information than give it all out. So that's why you see me drinking club soda with a lime in it, because I can fake it real good that way. And so, Tim Hurt, you're cracking me up, people making fun of you being in the grocery store. So anyway, let's talk about how you have a networking goal. One of my team members, Wanda Holzclaw, who is one of my favorite people, and I'm very fortunate that she calls me her partner, was given her goals at our team advance in December. And one of the goals that she gave was to accept more invitations. And all of us to a man, we looked at her and said, oh, Law, tell me about that. Because all of us get these invitations to parties, and maybe it's to these multi-level marketing, what's that really trashy one called? The, Desires or whatever. They sell you like dildos and things. I probably would still turn those down, but people have these LuLaRoe parties and Pampered Chef and Mary Kay and Rodan and Fields and all these zillions of different things they want to sell you. And frankly, we all get exhausted by it and we don't want to go because you're a salesperson. You're the easiest sale on the planet. They see you and your credit card coming in. Why? Because you know the number and the zip code and the code and you're easy to buy stuff. But anyway, when you're thinking about that, you realize you should say yes. Because the only way you're going to build these human relationships is to spend time with other humans. And so that might mean going to an uncomfortable multi-level marketing party, but you might really enjoy the person with whom you're sitting. So Wanda's goal was to accept more invitations. And so I went home and I told Steve Brown, I said, we're going to have to accept more invitations. And he sighed because he's an engineer. It's not his wheelhouse. And so that's one of our networking goals, is how many parties can we attend this year in a really productive way. This also means you want to think about your networking in terms of the conferences and conventions that you mentioned. My lovely colleague, Bob Stanley, here from the Charlotte market, who works at a competing firm, but hey, we're friends and we like to share ideas because that's possible in real estate, is going to get a CRS designation this year. That's the pinnacle of education in real estate. Whatever field you're in, there's a pinnacle of education. Get after it. I don't have the CCIM designation yet because, frankly, I'm not very good at knowing commercial stuff, and now's the time to learn. So I'm taking some CCIM education to help myself stretch and grow. That's one of my priorities this year, and I ran it through my scale, and Shazam, it's going to land in there. So my goal is to be the residential expert at any commercial event that I go to, because most commercial realtors don't want to fool with residential, and most residential realtors, y'all have got to stop fooling with it. I am so damn tired of residential realtors saying they can do commercial and you don't know squat about it. You trying to hurt people by making stuff up so you can make a check? No, stay in your lane. And if you won't know where your lane lines are, I will tell you, but what you need to do is, if you're going to go outside your lane, get an expert to help you. I know which the commercial experts are in Charlotte that I love, and I get them to come over and tell me what to do. Like when I bought this building, I didn't do it on my own. I got some help from a pro. So anyway, my networking goal is going to involve networking outside of where I am very educated right now. And then I'm going to make sure that I follow up with people in those networks. So if you're going to come to, say, CRS Celebration, and by the way, I got some discount codes for y'all at the end. I'll give it to you in a second. I got a discount code for you for the CRS Giant Producers event. They gave me a really big discount for my listeners today. And I've got a discount code for you if you want to come to Inman, New York. So, and I've also got a discount code for RE/MAX R4 if you're a RE/MAX, or you may have to message me for that because I didn't get it nailed down in advance. So anyway, when you go to these events, you're going to hear a lot of people tell you, bring all your business cards, bring 500 cards and pass them out. That's the biggest waste ever. You're killing trees for no reason. It's like a tree massacre at a real estate conference with all the cards that I see laying around up under drink glasses, sitting in chairs. They have been worn by 5 backsides because nobody picked them up. They left them in the chair and sat on them. They're in the trash cans in the ladies' room. I imagine they're in the trash cans in the men's room too. I don't know. I guess y'all throw things away in there too. But you think about this. You took 500 cards and randomly passed them out. You didn't make a connection with that person, okay? So go back to how I'm talking about prioritizing your year in terms of humanity and relationships. If I go to an event, y'all, I'm looking for 5 people. I want to have 5 new people added to my world. And I'm not talking about picking up 5 business cards so I can put you in my database. I want 5 people added to my world who send me stuff like their family Christmas card. I just got Rhodey's card, and Rhodey, I loved it. And I get your personal cards. I got Steve LaRue's Christmas card because I think we're going to set my daughter up with his son one day when they're old enough to realize that we're right about this. But I get these handwritten Christmas cards from people that I've connected with. And if I get 500 really dreadful cards from you and it's got the gold stamped season's greetings from your company, I'm just going to go, and I'm going to throw it away because it's not meaningful. So you need to think about your networking in terms of what's meaningful. So if I have 5 conversations with people and I know more about their life, their background, their business style, what's challenging to them, what's important to them, guess what I've added to my life is not just 5 people who might think of me when they need Charlotte, North Carolina area real estate, but I'm going to know them as humans. I love the humanity of being a small business owner because I told y'all before, that's what we have. We're part of our communities. It's so powerful. Make sure that you're into the power of these relationships. So my networking goals include 5 new people for each event. I would suggest maybe the same thing for each of you. And by the way, that will increase your productivity because if you just pass out 500 business cards at any event that you go to, there's nothing productive about that except you get a paper cut and it hurts unless you give out the triple thick moo cards. They don't paper cut because they're thick and fancy, but they're too expensive to give out 500. See, because you're watching your business budget. It's got to come out of that account. Make sure that your business cards are a good expense item. And by the way, speaking of business cards, because y'all know I like to rabbit trail, I redesigned my business cards this year to make sure that it's legible to my favorite kinds of clients. I deal with a lot of older people in my business, and they like to talk on the phone, and they like to be able to read your phone number. And so I put all the mouse type as the legal stuff for the real estate commission with the addresses and all of that. My phone number, though, nice and big and bold right there. So think about how you are speaking to your community with your business cards. And by the way, if you go to an event, make sure your city and state's on the business card. I love picking people's business cards apart. It's one of the perks of being a traveling speaker. Y'all give me your cards and I can make fun of them. But y'all don't put your state and city on there. How in the heck am I supposed to know where you're at when you're handing out 500 cards with your face and your multi-million-dollar #1 producer? The greatest compliment you can pay me is the referral of your friends and family. Y'all have got to stop putting out on your business cards. You're killing me slowly. So anyway, get a designation this year in your field. Get CRS, and if you're not signed up for it yet, you could get started on it. CRS.com is finally working. Whoop, whoop. And let's see. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to be a presenter and a speaker, I wound up teaching and instructing by accidents because Alan Haynes, who is, God rest his soul, he was a CRS instructor. And, oh, the back of my cards, Mike. Oh, I like how Mike didn't notice that. It's not my face. It's the skyline of Charlotte and my logo and my hashtag. So, yes, I don't put my face on it anymore because, I'm growing my hair out, my Capitol Hill hair here. So, anyway, I got started speaking because Alan told me I should, and I was scared out of my mind because I always thought I was too shy for that. I found out I loved it. And then what's happened since then is I already answered her. There's no picture on my card. But hopefully Marianne was typing that while I was answering her. Look, Liz is my secret weapon, and she snuck up in here. Y'all didn't even see her to make sure I saw an important question. So anyway, I became a speaker by accident, and now it's one of my joys in life is helping y'all maybe get better at life in real estate. So if you would like to become a speaker, I'm doing my first boot camp, yay, in another week and a half to help bring some new faces to stages. And if you want to be one of those faces, then you should let me know and I can help get that started for you. Because frankly, I didn't know what the heck I was doing when I got started and nobody wanted to tell me. And everybody was all secretive and transparent about stuff. Oh, Steve, my hashtag is more than houses. How do you forget that, buddy? Everybody uses mine. Hashtag more than houses. I started it, and a lot of people are using it now, and it makes my heart so happy. Oh, Bob wants a picture of my car on the website. I don't know how I can do that, Bob. Let me figure that out in a minute here. Oh, it's on my Instagram account. Go follow me on Instagram. Y'all can see my car. That's also some of the best money I spend, by the way, every year. Okay. We've got 15 minutes left. Do not leave me because I've got some specials for y'all at the end that were free stuff. Let me jump ahead and talking about... Let's see. Nope, that's your deals. Hang on, you can't see that yet. Ha, just kidding. All right, tech tools. You always want some new tech tools in your business. First one I want you to look up is Crystal Knows. Oh, I hit it by accident. Hang on a minute, I'll bring it back. So I heard about this at the RE/MAX Team Leader event. Again, I go to events even though I'm a speaker and a presenter. I love to go and learn and get new ideas. Wish I'd known about this a while back. So Crystal Knows is free. It plugs into your Gmail. And the cool thing is it kind of tells you the personalities of who you're having meetings with. So as I'm recording my podcast episodes for my podcast, which is Crazy Shit in Real Estate. And by the way, if you want to appear on the show, please raise your hand in these comments and Liz will get you scheduled because we are putting together our 2018 lineup right now. So it tells me what my guest has going on for primary personalities, and I can respond to that in how I talk. And then when you think about it in terms of client meetings, before I had a listing appointment this morning, I was able to look at it and know a little bit more about the personality of the seller. So it's really great information. Folio is a killer thing to do on top of your Gmail if you're using Google Apps for Business, which is my leesales.com email is all on Google Apps for Business. By the way, if you're a realtor or a professional or any small business owner and you're doing something out there that's amazing, if you're using a Gmail account, I'm going to come after you myself because it is so unprofessional to tell the world that you're using a free email. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And by the way, if you're using AOL, you're killing my nerves because I just can't help but think about those discs that came in my mailbox every 5 minutes. I used to put them out in the garden to keep the birds off of my corn, but I guess I could use some of the AOL discs. Send those to me if you need it. Anyway, Crystal Knows is really cool. It's free. It's a plug-in. Actually, there's a paid version too, but I'm cheap. Folio's free. That puts checklists on top of what you're doing in your email so you can help keep clients in the loop. BombBomb, of course, you know me. You know I love video. BombBomb's giving us a special here for y'all. It'll save you $250, so hang tight for the BombBomb special. Doesn't matter what business you're in, you ought to be using video, okay? You have to use video. This is how you tell people who you are. Let them see your eyes. Y'all see I've got bags and crow's feet today. And you know what? When my clients see that, they know I'm actually a normal human being and I'm not some airbrushed thing that they have seen on a website or a billboard somewhere. The you that we talked about 30 minutes ago that's so powerful and unique, no, it will never be online, girl. The speaker boot camp will only be in person so I can judge y'all in person. So you have to use video so that you can tell people who you are. They can see it and hear it and look you in the eye and decide if you're who they want to talk to. Maybe you have an accent because you're like from Massachusetts or something and they want to hear your voice. The fact that you're not using it is sad. Now here's why y'all don't use it. My same spiel I've been doing now for 7 years. You tell me you're too fat and old and ugly and stupid and you don't like your hair, don't like your face, you don't like how you sound, don't have anything to say. Here's the thing. Some people are using you anyway. They know you're fat and old and ugly and bald and stupid, and they still used you. And here y'all are hiding from them. Stop it. Just get your camera out and use it. Now, I'll tell you, it's going to be a minute to pop the cherry. Take about 3 videos before you start being real nervous about it. You'll live. You will. And people will actually pat you on the back and build you up because they want you to succeed. So lean into that, y'all. It's amazing to me that more realtors won't do video. So let's see, what else was I going to talk to y'all about as I get to the end of my hour here. This went too fast. Okay, let's talk about what makes you better. Okay, so we're talking about bringing the humanity back into your business. You need to get some people with whom to work. You maybe don't have a lot of past clients, so I want you to use video. Okay, go on Facebook. I'm going to do one at 3 o'clock Eastern time today to help people learn how to correct their credit so they can make purchases in the future. That's one of the great ways to use video, is to provide education. I'm not selling anything. I'm not giving any deals or trying to convert people to anything. It's just a way to help people start putting a plan together for the future. Because often in the business world, we're looking for the quick hit. I'm never looking for the quick hit. I'm always looking for the long-term way I can benefit somebody and be a part of their life in the future. So I'm going to provide credit help information, because I'm not a skeevy credit repair person that's going to charge them $1,700 a month and not help them out. I'm going to give them real life tips. You can do the same thing with video. You can then have people contact you and say, hey, maybe you could be my realtor because you can tell me more about this. So what if, as part of your plan to build your business this year, one of your gaps was not having enough clients? Go find the brand new restaurants in your area. Anything that's been in business less than 30 days desperately needs online presence. So go over there, find the owner, because he or she will be there in the first 30 days, and offer to interview them and find out the best item on their menu. Maybe they'll give a free appetizer to your viewers. Post that. I love Facebook Live because Facebook favors this algorithm. And then after it's on Facebook Live, it gets posted to YouTube. That's a free way for you to provide information for your community and also build up other local businesses. What if your area has a really cool walking trail? You could do a video of yourself on the walking trail and showcase the Parks and Rec opportunities. That's going to allow you an opportunity to be in front of people in a way that's not gross and salesy and icky, but it showcases how you're a part of the community, because this is where you live, y'all. So at Christmas, one of the things I did was I went to the Habitat Restore to shop, because it's Habitat for Humanity, which is one of my big passions in life, and one of the places I definitely love to give back to, because I love the homeowners who get Habitat houses. I've met so many homeowners and I love them. And all they needed was one little boost. Boom. They get the boost. Life gets better. So you think about the ripple impact of the good that you do. So I'm going to go shop at the Restore. Well, I made a Facebook Live video in there of the things in the Restore. That's a way to show, okay, the community, here's what's in here, because they don't stop in there because they've never been in there. And you could mention that they could buy refrigerators and washers and dryers for investment properties, which you could help them with as their realtor. So I can put a little message in there, because I don't want people to forget that I'm a realtor. I would really love that they use me as their agent in the Charlotte and Concord area. At least give me an opportunity to interview, but they can't do that if they don't know what I do. And nobody wants to hear you post about an open house. Nobody wants to hear you say that you are #blessed because you sold 8 houses. Nobody wants to hear you say you've had the best month of your career, that you sold 82 houses. All they care about is their house. That's the only one they care about, is their house. Oh, Stacy, you can do captions on rev.com. They'll do captions for like $1 a minute on your videos. So when you think about that piece, that video piece, and how free it is to help bring people to you, I want you to think about you, okay? Not all of y'all have a personality that looks like mine. At this point, everybody should say amen and hallelujah, because we don't need too many of that. But there's something about you that's unique and special. Some of y'all are probably really nerds. Oh, that's not automatic, Crystal. This one is, and I'm using this Ecamm Live, ECAMM Live. But I can save it and upload it and add my own stuff to it. What I was telling y'all, though, is if you're a good nerd and you've got spreadsheets for days and you're really good at that, that should be your videos. Because there's a lot of clients out there that probably do not call Leigh Brown because they can tell I am not a spreadsheet person. I'm married to one, but he is not interested in the real estate life. So lean into what you're great at. Some of y'all are really great at videos. So do more video of houses and communities and less of open houses and quit being so boring. Y'all are so dreadful. Y'all got to find something to talk about besides real estate. And if you are a different kind of business. So let's just say you sell promotional goods to realtors. Maybe you could make fun of realtors in their bad open house videos and they'll realize why they need your promotional items. I'm just saying. So in addition to this, I'm talking about this piece that's you and what you want to showcase it in through video. It needs to bleed through everything that you do. Okay? All of this adds together. It doesn't sound like a traditional 2018 plan, but what I'm going to tell you is that if you want this year to look different than last year, you need to stop doing these bad, terrible, dreadful habits. If you don't believe in pop buys, don't do them. If you are tired of saying, I'm never too busy for your referrals, and quit saying, I'm never too busy for your referrals, and instead go visit people. Make a batch of homemade cookies and go deliver it to people's houses. And make sure they're nut-free, though, and gluten-free, so you can take care of people's special dietary restrictions. And if you're in a good Jewish community, why wouldn't you make good kosher things and take those out and respond to the people around you? It's not hateful to pay attention, okay? So I had a really interesting conversation at lunch yesterday, by the way, with a Jewish friend of mine who orders a vegetarian plate just because he's kosher and he finds it's easier to explain being vegetarian than to explain being kosher, which to me was kind of a indictment of some of us who don't pay enough attention. So pay more attention, okay? And then also, by the way, he needed something and we had noticed the name tag of the gentleman serving us. So we called him by name and he took better care of us. Oh, Glenda, you can share all of this. Share this video actually in your offices and in your business meetings. That will be wonderful. But as you're thinking about your engagement level, I need you to think about this right here, y'all. The engagement level that we have on the political side is very necessary right now. A lot of y'all are very angry about politics because I read what you post on Facebook, and it's not very pleasant or engaging or going to draw anybody in with all the honey that you put out there. Y'all putting out a lot of vinegar. What I'll tell you is that as realtors, we work shoulder to shoulder across party lines to make sure that the policies make better sense. So when tax reform was a giant issue, I didn't look at it from a partisan standpoint. I looked at it from a policy standpoint. I was very concerned about the capital gains exemption moving from 2 out of 5 years to 5 out of 8. Well, as realtors, we made phone calls, made visits, and went shoulder to shoulder to tell the elected officials, please fix this provision, and y'all, we kept 2 out of 5 years. That's a huge win that realtors had on behalf of relocating families, military families, move-up families, and anybody who's got equity in their house. So if you're a realtor and not engaged, message me. I'll tell you how to be engaged. But even if you're not, you got to go to school board meetings, go to town hall meetings. You've got to be involved, y'all. The fact that things change out there and you're not part of it, that's only your fault. If you are complaining on Facebook, that's not changing a daggum thing. So quit kvetching on Facebook and pick up your phone and get to know your elected officials and make sure you're taking advantage of that. Now we're at the end of our hour. I want to remind you I had a couple of deals for you. Yay! BombBomb won't give away the service for free, but they'll do a free custom email design for you, which is a $250 value. If you go to BombBomb.com, the code is 250design. This code is only good for 30 days from today. So I guess it expires on February the 4th. So if you're watching this after February 4th, you should have signed up earlier. I'm at Inman, New York. I'm going to be one of the speakers on January 24th. It's not a production-based conference. It's an idea conference. So go to places that stretch you and get you out of your comfort zone. I'm speaking there on brand new topic. I'm $200 off if you use code SPEAKER. And if you want to hang out with producers and be around the people doing 400 and 500 and 600 real estate sides a year, that's who I want to learn from. That's at CRS Celebration. And by the way, you don't have to be a CRS to go. You can actually get credit towards getting the designation by going. It's in Dallas. And the best thing about being in Dallas is it's only one time zone away from me. Yay. But they're giving this killer special if you use code Leigh Brown. It's like 30% off. It's this really smoking price. So that's actually posted on, Liz will post that in the comments here for you. Shelly was asking for my RPAC graphic one more time, and let me remind you of this. If you want to participate with the Realtor Party, it's only available to members of the Realtor Party and their immediate families and our affiliate members who have a NERJ number, which if you don't know what any of that means, then it's okay because I'm not talking to you. But what we do as the Realtor Party, we benefit the public. We benefit people who want to own property, who have owned property. We benefit communities and strengthen communities. So much of what the Realtor Party does actually is changing diversity and inclusion, smart cities, smart growth, looking at how we can benefit rural communities and not just urban areas. It's a huge opportunity for us to change policy and legislation. So think about it differently, y'all. Often this is about a mindset change. So the last thing I want to leave you with as we jump off of here today is that you are enough, okay? When somebody tells you that you should be doing something different, something more, I want you to remember that you are enough. And if it's a really rough day, call somebody. Call me if you need to. I might not answer because I'm on the plane half the time, but send me a Facebook message or a text. We have to do a better job of lifting each other up in today's world. And that means lifting up people with whom you don't agree and lifting up people with whom you do agree, because it will change your business and it will change your life. Okay? So don't listen to anybody who tells you that there's a ceiling in your business or anybody's holding anybody back. Ain't nobody holding anybody back except you. And by the way, what your something looks like is not the same as what everybody else's something looks like. There's the codes one more time for you. I hope you have gotten something out of this hour that will benefit you in 2018. I'd love to know what your favorite thing was that you're going to implement. Share away. I did get all of your over 500 ideas of things you need help on. That's going to give me some content going forward this year. So make sure you subscribe to my newsletter for more Facebook Lives and videos and whatever I can do to help you survive in the business world. I'm here to help. I'm at Leigh Brown on Twitter. And of course, you know where I am on Facebook. So tell a friend and I'll see y'all next time.